If we were working 9 to 5 or single parent, it would have been a massive struggle because the training sessions were from around about 5 o'clock. I remember 5 till 7,
Yeah.
and we'd just been a struggle to make it all work.
Yeah.
But for us, it worked. It just seemed to work, and because it was something that he was involved in and enjoying, I was willing to make that sacrifice.
Mm.
So yeah, it's certainly a lot of commitment from a time perspective, but we were able to make it work.
Yeah. And in terms of enjoyment factor, where would you put it on
Yeah.
the scale, especially as being, a dad of a goalie? It sounds like it kind of could be quite stressful, right? But so how have you enjoyed the journey, or perhaps the
I really enjoyed the journey. It's been a lot of ups and downs because it's your child, and you're. Well, I've always felt like I'm on that same journey with him. I feel like all the stresses and the highs and lows he's going through, I feel like I'm there with him. It's a big test of character for the child as well. I mean, it's nobody tells you that, but it's definitely a big test of character for the child, because they're going to go through, and he's gone through high point and low point, and it's like, how do you deal with them?
and how have you been able to support those, especially those low points? How do you support that?
Well, what I try to do, I've always, from the start, I've always said to him, my message has always been, enjoy the journey. Just enjoy the journey. Try to focus on, it's an experience, So the way I've always seen it, and the way I've always tried to get him to say it is, regardless of what happened, you can always say to your mates when you're 50 years old, hey, I played for Arsenal when I was younger. Not a bad thing to talk about in the pub. So I thought,
Right.
no, so I always thought, it's a journey that you're on right now. We don't know how long you're going to be on it for, but enjoy it whilst you're young as well. You've got no commitment as such. So go out there and enjoy it and just see what happens. And I've also I've always tried to be a bit about mindset as well. So what I've tried to do is get him to really analyze himself, and to get to understand that life is about ups and downs. The real world is about ups and downs. So when that coach says to you, or if you're not getting, to play in games where you maybe like to play, or you're not getting the minutes that you want, ask yourself what you can do. Is there anything in my control that I can do to change that? And work to try and improve that. Try and be a better player if you can. Try and learn to analyze yourself if you can. Don't blame the coach or blame the club. Try and get away from the blame culture if you can. Let's try and focus on what you could do. And that's the way always the message I try to give him. I never talk about the coach or about what the club are doing wrong. I always try to get him to think about what he could do to better improve himself as a person and as a player. And that's just the message I always try to give him.
And how does he take that in? Is he on board with that way of thinking?
I think he tries. Obviously, it's not easy to do when you're a child in that environment, because it's very competitive. It's very, very competitive. I mean, you're often seeing kids coming in, new kids coming in. The reality of it is they're just looking for the best product out there. It's a business for them. Obviously, they're never going to tell you that, but the reality of it is. And you could be released at almost any moment. And there's not really anything that you can say that's going to change that worry of getting released, other than to prepare them for the fact that at some point, you probably won't be at this club. I mean, that's something I try to say from now, especially at these sorts of ages. I said, at some point you might not be at this club, and it might be that your future is in another club or in another country or in another industry. But the most important point is you're enjoying it. Do the best you can, and let's just see how it goes. Let's see where this journey takes you.